Attention house sellers, sell your house in 5 days for full market value without doing any repairs. We will buy your house fast in its current condition and pay more than any other investor in the Denver area. About to buy a property from Linda, and we're going to do the closing at Linda's kitchen table. So I'm sitting here with Bruce. I just purchased his property.
I recently sold my house to Eric with Denver Property Flip.
Yes, we definitely felt good about this deal from day one.
I went out to 3 different companies. The other 2 were very hard to deal with. Eric's been wonderful to deal with.
And I think you even went a little above and beyond.
If this is not too good to be true, this is the answer to my my prayers right now.
And the prompt call back because I didn't think I was going to talk to you that soon.
Just had a very smooth process with Eric.
Extremely fast and convenient, and it wasn't like a lowball offer either. You didn't try to
No, not
skirt
at all.
them.
Eric's offer was higher than the second offer I got, but a lot higher than the first offer I got.
You didn't even have to do that, but you did, and we appreciate that.
Just the transparency, I do appreciate that.
It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Eric, that's, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Give him a call, he's the best.
In this video, I'm going to share with you a little known secret. A secret that will expose the fraud committed by most of the Denver area real estate investment companies and show you how to make an extra $10,000 or more when selling your house fast to an investor just by contacting the right people. There are over 100 different real estate investment companies in the Denver area, and believe me, the majority of them will try to rip you off. You could easily get offers from 5 different investors thinking you're going the extra mile to get the best price, but still end up selling your house for $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 less than you could or should have. If you are trying to sell your house fast in the Denver area, you could easily get ripped off and not even know it. After seeing 3, 4, or even 5 lowball offers, you could start to think these lowball offers are just the going rate, when in fact every one of those offers were investors that were just trying to steal your house for a lowball price. But after watching this video, you'll have all the info you need to make sure that will never happen to you. Hi, my name is Eric Young. I'm the owner of Denver Property Flip. I'm a real estate investor, contractor, and realtor in the Denver area. I've been buying and flipping houses for over 8 years. I bought houses from Centennial to Broomfield and everywhere in between. I bought houses that were nearly falling down. I bought houses that I've added a second story to. I bought houses that I gutted down to the studs and rebuilt like new. And of course, I bought houses that just needed simple cosmetic renovations. And through this experience, I've gotten to know a lot of my competitors and how they conduct their business. I'll show you how they structure their business, and I guarantee it will shock you. Most real estate investors in the Denver area don't even buy houses. You heard me correctly, and I'll repeat it just to make sure you know you heard it right. Most real estate investors in the Denver area don't even buy houses. In fact, there are over 5 imposter companies to every 1 real investment company. And I'm not even talking about the small guys. Even the most well-known real estate investors in the area are imposters. You know that big billboard on the right-hand side of I-76 when you're headed northeast? You know, the one with the caveman on it that says, "We buy ugly houses"? Even that company doesn't actually buy houses. This is a big deal for someone like you trying to sell their house for a fair price, because there's a good chance you won't get a fair price from most of the companies out there. If you hadn't found this video, you could have easily had the same experience as Jenny. Jenny got laid off. She lost her job and with it lost her income. Since Jenny was the only income producer for her family of 4, losing her job was a big deal. To make matters worse, the job that she lost was a really high-paying job. It paid for the expensive mortgage payments for a large house. A house plenty large enough for her husband and 2 children. The house was nearly 3,000 square feet and had 4 beds and 3 baths. With her job gone, the bills were piling up, and with no savings to speak of, Jenny had some serious decisions to make. She was going to have to sell the house that her family had called home for nearly 10 years. Just to make ends meet, she would have to move her family out of town and live with relatives until she could find a new job. With no other options left, Jenny knew she had to sell her house and do it fast, before the next mortgage bill was due in 4 weeks. Not to mention, her only savings was locked up in the equity of her home. She needed that cash to buy groceries and other basic necessities. But selling the house wasn't going to be easy because the house was a mess. Jenny's husband, Billy, had a bone disease preventing him from working, so up to this point, he had spent most of his time at the house taking care of the kids. If you have kids, you know what I mean when I say they are rough on a house, and these kids were no different. They drew on walls, spilled their juice on the carpet, and didn't clean up their messes. With the kids running wild in the house for several years, the house showed plenty of wear. Wallpaper ripped on the walls, marker drawings on the paint, and stains all over the carpet. To top it all off, Jenny and Billy had 2 cats and a dog. And when you came to visit Jenny and Billy's house, you knew they had cats the second you walked in the front door. The house had a strong cat stench to it, probably from the cats peeing around the house to mark their territory. Who would buy a house in this kind of condition and with that kind of smell? So Jenny did what anyone would do, and she turned to Google for answers. She typed in, "Sell my house fast Aurora," and started browsing websites. As she visited website after website, she realized there were a lot of real estate investment companies in the area willing to buy her house fast. It provided a temporary relief to her heavy reality. She asked several investors to give her a price. As the investors showed up at the house and started submitting offers, Jenny was surprised at how low the offers were. $300,000, $305,000, $315,000. While these offers may seem high for a house in this kind of shape, they were low for Jenny's neighborhood. The house down the street had just sold for $465,000 a few months ago. And while that house was bigger and had just been renovated, Jenny still thought her house would sell for more than $315,000. Luckily, Jenny stumbled upon our website and gave us a call. I gave Jenny an offer to buy her house with cash for $330,000 and close in 5 days. So Jenny was sitting $15,000 better off within 10 minutes of meeting me. But before we were done, I helped Jenny sell her house for $380,000, putting an extra $50,000 in her pocket that she badly needed. If Jenny wouldn't have called Denver Property Flip, she would have missed out on that $50,000 and her bad situation would have been even worse. So how did I get Jenny's house sold for $380,000? I'll get back to that in a minute, but first, don't you want to know why I called all those other real estate investment companies frauds? So why is it that I could offer Jenny $330,000 for her house when the other companies she called would only pay $300,000 to $315,000? Because I actually buy houses. I'm a real investor. I buy the houses, fix them up with my own crews, list them with my own real estate agency, and sell them for a modest profit. There are no middlemen when you do business with me. These other 3 companies that Jenny talked to were wholesale companies. They don't even buy houses. They pretend to buy houses. They tell people they buy houses, but after they get a house under contract, if you pay attention, the real truth starts to come out. After they get a house under contract, but before they close on it, they start marketing to the real investors in town. They parade investor after investor through your house until they find the highest bidder. They use the fact that you don't know about investors like me against you. They'll get a house like Jenny's under contract for $315,000 or even less, and then turn around and put it under contract with an investor like me for $330,000. So who pockets the $15,000 or even more? You guessed it, the fake real estate investor, who sells the house to a real investor at the same time they buy it from someone like you. Most sellers don't even know their house is being resold in the room next door at the same time they are selling it to an investor. The worst part is, people like Jenny really need that extra $15,000. They're on tough times and can't afford to be taken advantage of by a wholesaler posing to be a real investor. In Jenny's case, I did her one better and I got her an extra $50,000 at closing. Everyone's situation is different, but in Jenny's case, we found a way for her to pay the bills for 6 weeks without closing on the house. In that time, I cleaned her house up with my own crews and my own money, I put it on the market, and I found a family to buy it before Jenny ran out of time and money. If I would have failed to find a retail buyer in time, Jenny knew she always had my $330,000 quick close offer to back up on. We found a buyer who paid $380,000 and closed just in time. After paying for the realtor fee, Jenny still made an extra $50,000, a full $50,000 more than selling her house to the highest paying investor that she had ran across before stumbling onto Denver Property Flip's website. Don't get ripped off. Call an actual real estate investment company and get a real fair offer on your home. I wish I had the money to buy everyone's house who has to close quickly, but unfortunately, I can only buy 4 to 6 houses at a time. But maybe one of those houses can be yours. You'll never know unless you give us a call. Call and tell us about your house. I'll come over as soon as possible and I'll try my best to get you an offer today. Even if my funds are all tied up, I'll come over to your house anyway and help explore all your options. If I can't help you myself, I will get you in touch with an investor who will treat you fairly. When you sell your house to Denver Property Flip, it's like hitting the easy button. Here's what a typical transaction looks like. Step 1. We come look at your house and email you an offer. Step 2. With a couple clicks on a website, you accept the offer. Step 3. We sign the closing documents whenever and wherever it works best for you. We can even sign the documents at your kitchen table if you want. Step 4. Your mortgage is paid off and cash is wired into your bank account. Step 5. You move out whenever we agreed to ahead of time, and you can stay a few weeks after closing if you need to. There will be no appraisals, no intense inspections, no showings, and no people being paraded through your house like wholesalers do. No realtor negotiations, no back and forth haggling on price, none of that. And the best part is how quickly your bank account will have money in it. Selling your house to us is almost as easy as using an ATM, except for you get to withdraw the money from your house equity instead of a bank account. In less than a week, you can have access to the cash in your house and relieve your financial burdens. Think how good it will feel when you're able to access your home equity and have money in your bank account again. No more worrying about how to pay the bills. You'll have the cushion you need to get some relief and get you through this part of your life. Or maybe you just want to get rid of a problem rental property. We'll buy the house even with a bad renter still living there. Just like that. No more headache rental property. We'll buy your property along with all the problems that come with it. Think of how great it will feel not to worry about all the things that need repaired in your house. Or if Bubba is going to pay the rent tomorrow. Or if the city is going to find you for the dead tree in the front yard. Or the list of problems you won't ever need to worry about again go on and on. You'll feel confident knowing that you sold your house for the best price because we cut out all the middlemen. I don't need to build in money for a listing agent because I'm the agent. I don't need to build in money for a real estate brokerage. I own my own brokerage. I don't need to build in money for the contractor. I'm a licensed general contractor. I don't need to build in money for an investor partner. I'm the investor. No one can afford to pay you more than I can. I'll buy your house with cash, which will ensure that there will be no hangups from inspections required by bankers. Because remember, there will be no banker. I'll close in 1 week so you can have your money fast. No banks means no waiting for appraisals or other red tape to sort through. I'll buy your house as is, which means there's nothing for you to fix up or clean up. In fact, you can even leave anything you don't want behind. Just leave it sitting there in the house and I'll take care of it from there. Taryn left 3 30-yard dumpsters worth of trash behind when he sold me his house. The kind of dumpsters that fill up your whole driveway. 3 of them. I bought Taryn's rental property in Westminster when he was in the middle of getting a divorce. He didn't have to deal with getting the renters out, cleaning the house up, signing a bunch of realtor documents, dealing with showings, and fighting over which offer to take with his soon-to-be ex-wife. Instead, he just sold me the house and he was done with it. I bought Linda's house in Thornton so she could downsize to a single-story condo for retirement. She left all her extra furniture behind. I bought Bruce's rental property in Commerce City. His renter, Franco, had trashed the property and hadn't paid in over 2 months. To top it off, the city was sending Bruce violation letters because the 5 cars his renter, Franco, had in the yard that was against zoning rules. I bought Bruce's house in less than a week. Getting rid of Franco, all the cars, and the 4 30-yard dumpsters worth of trash was no longer Bruce's problem. I bought Rosalie's house in Broomfield in 5 days so she could avoid a foreclosure. She stayed in the house for a couple weeks after closing so she had plenty of time to find a new place. I bought Jennifer's rental property in Aurora. She moved to Las Vegas and was looking for an easy way to sell her rental property for a fair price without having to travel back to Colorado. And the list goes on, but the common thread in each of these situations is that I accommodated their situation and made selling their house for a fair price a simple and easy process. Now it's your turn to get an offer and see how simple selling your house really can be. Call us at 720-370-9595 and get an offer today. Our phone is staffed around the clock, so call anytime. A friendly staff member will answer your call. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Getting a quote is absolutely free. I'm on a mission to help 20 homeowners sell their house fast this year. Hopefully you'll be one of them. Basically, you have nothing to lose by saying yes, so go ahead and call us at 720-370-9595 and get your offer. And remember, don't be fooled into selling your house for a lowball price to one of the many wholesalers in the Denver area pretending to be investors. Sell your house directly to an investor and get the best price and the best experience. Call 720-370-9595 and get your offer today. No fees, no commissions, no closing cost. Just the highest quick close cash offer in town. Call 720-370-9595.
I live here in Las Vegas, and we had a rental property that we just needed to get rid of.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy.
One of the companies I worked with was horribly difficult to work with.
You know, for this to go as well as it has, it's nice. It really is. I would recommend this. For people in my situation, I could not have asked for anybody or any better outcome than we've got here.
And the whole process took 2 weeks total from the time I contacted him. He was very responsive and quick to answer all questions.
That came and looked at the house.
Right.
They had gave you a number that was
It was
significantly lower.
Totally unacceptable.
much lower.
Call 720-370-9595.